Hello, Big Rich coming to you. Little impromptu stream. This was going to be my last tournament of the day. A little $16.50 action. 2-hour late reg. Big fan of them. You can late reg them with almost 20 big blinds. In fact, if you register before the registration closes at the last second, you get 20 big blinds, and then you get like 18 point something because it goes to 1100. Start with 20,000. Anywho, we've been smashing and bashing, so we are on the bubble, 2 from the money here. So I figured it'd be maybe a good teaching tool. Time to throw on the recording and see what happens. So thanks for tuning in, however you're watching this, and I hope you're having an awesome weekend, awesome night, and good luck to us. Here on the bubble, this is certainly a flattable hand. You necessarily don't want to go broke. I could put him all in for maximum pressure. You could certainly 3-bet. I'm going to actually just call. This is not the best of flops for our hand. So I'm going to kind of play fit or fold here and just check. And they see that at a low percentage. I would have 3-bet a little bit more. Maybe I should have went for it a little bit. But I didn't, so. I think all options, I think the options of either check raising or folding are fine. I think calling is the worst, obviously. So I like a check raise because of the bubble dynamics. However, I think if I was going to do something like that, I should have, per se, 3-bet at pre-flop, I think. Here with the 10-7 suited, still 2 people in the money. We will be shoving if it folds to us. I should leave this up here because this is important for calling off and stuff like that. Let me move it over here so it's not in the way of the beautiful map of Maryland. Shrink that a little bit so we can get the whole state up in here. Yeah, still 65 left. The shortest stack is 22,000 out of 5,500 big blind. With this, we're just going to fold. No reason to call. And I assume they're going to fold with everything. They are currently not making the money. They are 64th. By 1,000 chips, it looks like. No, that was pre-big blind, so. They need to make a move or have 2 people bust. This, if it folds to us, this is a shove just for that exact reason. AC Baby, never mind. AC Baby is 61st, and Trepentum is 64th. 63 make the money. So. Is there a way to resize this window? No. ACR lobby windows just are what they are, unfortunately. And again, thank you for tuning in. Those that don't know, my name is Richard Herbert. They call me Big Rich. I go by a lot of different monikers, truthfully, but that's what most people in the poker industry know me as, either Rich or Big Rich, specifically. We're playing a little America's Card Room here. Heads-up display. We're using Poker Tracker to track every hand and all the stats and everything. Heads-up display is a HUD, as it's also known, is just a little, like essentially a little cheat sheet tool. Voluntarily puts money in the pot. That's how often someone decides to play a hand pre-flop, whether it be call or limp in or call a raise or whatever. Maybe pre-flop raise, how often they raise, the number of hands that I have on them, how often someone 3-bets, so that is when facing a raise they decide to re-raise, how often someone folds when they've been 3-bet and they are in position. So I raise and you re-raise, having position on me. Sorry, I just described out of position. I'm out of position in that spot. And this one is when you're in position. So like I raise the button, you 3-bet the big blind. How often do I call? Those are very important for many different reasons. How often someone 4-bets, continuation bets, folds to continuation bet. Important for me because I play a lot more 3-bet pots. Fold to a flop C-bet in a 3-bet plus pot. 3-bet plus pot. We'll get there. And then these are steal stats pre-flop. How often someone folds to steal. How often someone folds to a pre-flop 3-bet after attempting to steal. So that would have counted. And how often someone attempts to steal in late position. That does not count the blinds. And if you want more information, each little thing has more and more and more and more and more for in-depth further decision making. So thanks for tuning in. Still 65 left. The bubbles do move a little bit slower on these. Pay jumps are not too bad. For 63rd bottom rung, you get 1.5 buy-ins, which is nice. Excuse me, I'm wrong. You get 3 buy-ins. Ooh. 15, 30, 45, yeah. Well, without rake, so it's like 2.8 something. Here we will not be raising. And honestly, I expect all these people to fold. Jeannie and I have some really good table positioning. And that's another reason that I really kind of didn't want to tangle. I do, but I don't. So like, you got to be selective. When you have 30 big blinds in a spot like this, you know, 30, 40 big blind stacks, you don't just want to just aggressive to aggressive, if that makes sense. You don't just want to aggro to aggro. Have some reasoning behind what you're doing, you know. Yeah, you could say, oh, I'm putting bubble pressure on and everything, but if you lose a good part of your stack here and then you double up one of the short stacks, you're in a really tough spot. And the chips are going to fly fast and furious as soon as this burst. Which, again, maybe a little bit because this person is in now bottom rung. They are 65th. So, yeah, we have a good position. Teen is 63rd. They're 65th. AC is 62nd. What is Kano here? Kano is the only one not present of the short stack society for the bottom. 3 out of the 4 bottom rungs are here, though. This person is 53rd, to give you an example of how big the differences are. Okay, somebody busted out. Has not updated over here yet. Jungle Hijinks. Didn't even see you on the board. Okay. Hey, we're in the money. We're in the money. Do, 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 do. Hey! Alright. We're $45 looking for $19.25. Here we are. Sorry, Great State. You're gonna have to get you out of here a little bit. Versus this opponent, a C-bet is in order, especially with the Jack of Diamonds. Don't think you have to go too large. 1.46, right around that area. 1.5 blinds. If you go 1.6, can't blame you. If you go 1.8, can't blame you. If you go 1.3, you're probably going to get floated by all kinds of ridiculousness. And that's fine because you can play, you know, post flop and turn. But on this flop, the only thing that they're going to now fold when this comes off is hopefully a flush draw, but some people will get incredibly stubborn. With stack to pot as it is, I am going to just go for a check. If I bet and they jam, I would have to call off here, more than likely, which I'm not the biggest fan of. I also believe that I could get worse hands to call river by checking here. And it's very well possible it could be against queen. I'm going to check and call here, and we shall see what happens on the river. Okay, they did not go for it. They just floated us with complete garbage, ace high off. Good to know. Always good to take notes. Back in the day, I used to, when I was Poker Stars and Full Tilt and everything, pre-Black Friday, I would take notes like, oh, big giant idiot or something like that. You really want to be descriptive about your notations. They don't have to be long jargon sometimes, That's why I use some of the coding I use, such as X means check, XR, X is check raise, CC, check call, XC would be check call, etc., etc. See, it's always good to know your own jargon too. I can decipher everyone looking at it. And you got to focus in on what idiocracy thing they do. Some people are just too loose pre-flop, and you're like, oh, they're big giant idiot because they played this hand. But then, they may play the hand, and then it might actually be reasonable how they played the flop and the turn. Yeah, sure, it's unreasonable how they got there, and it's unreasonable in your eyes, but you need to be specific. If someone calls too much, they call too late, or something like that, note that. And then you want to use your sizings to exploit that. If they call too much, bet smaller. Yeah, give them a price where they can't run away. Make it too good for them. And think about it. Don't just pick a number. Think about it, okay? If there's 20 in the pot and they call too much, you might run them off with like a 12 bet. But if there's 20 in there and you bet, say, 4.5, 5, something like that, where, especially if you bet 4.5 or 5 in that range, where you're betting a quarter of the pot and then you're giving them, 5 to 1, they only have to win 20% of the time. Even the most curious, ambitious person is going to call many times there, and you're going to be betting with hands where they're going to lose almost 97% of the time, probably. Once in a blue moon, you can even value bet bluff here. In a 40 big blind pot the other day, I bet 4 big blinds on the river, and the person folded.
And I was bluffing.
However, I had valued them previous hands, and that's pretty crazy suicidal, I'm going to be honest with you, but it worked. Over here, this will not be working against AC. King high is pretty decent. We very well could be ahead of their range a lot of times here, but I'm going to muck. No real reason to give them extra chips, and the blinds are going up, as they just did. So, back to what I was saying is, don't run your opponent off. And figure out what kind of quote-unquote donkey or idiot or whatever terminology you want to use for them. Figure out what kind of person they are and what they're doing, and then exploit that. Like in chess, if someone gives up their knight too early, there's ways to exploit that. There's certain ways to attack the board in order to get them to maneuver a piece. Do the same thing in poker. Just look at it differently. Instead of those pawns and different pieces, chips are your soldiers, or your artillery per se. We should get called here all the time. Queen high is ahead of a jack high, not anymore. But that's just one of those spots where, okay, good luck, and they got there. I mean, it is what it is. So yeah. So when you're identifying your opponents, identify their weaknesses, and then don't have to full attack it. You don't have to go full blown off the rails. More times than not, it's better to get something than nothing. It's better to get paid. So do it. Do it. Got moved to a new table. Looks like we're going to get the big blind next hand. Not the best positioning with having Tugmet on our direct right. In fact, our table is got some chips, I certainly liked it over in Short Stack Heaven, however you want to call it. But them's the breaks, You got to beat people to win tournaments. So that's what we're here to do. Not here to mop. No Roman Harpers. No dusty mops. See? No dusty mops. And if you don't get the reference, I will tell you. The Jones family, good old Slidell, they're big old Saints fans. And if you go back and you watch the interception that wins the Super Bowl or seals the Super Bowl for the Saints, you will see the Dusty Mop at 31 years of age, Mr. Harper, Roman Harper. And he celebrates, and woo! That man got some stress in his life. He got some gray hairs. God bless him, though. God bless him. Who Dat Nation? They are internally loyal to Mr. Harper, I'm sure. But he takes his helmet off, and I ain't never seen a 31-year-old with that much gray. So the Jones family used to call him Old Dusty Mop. And it's just something that's always kind of sat with me. I always thought it was pretty funny. Little pay jump, that means table just broke. From here on out until we get down to the final two tables, we will be only pay jumps every 9. Little small here, little $5 jump, but hey, that's okay. That's okay. Relative to the buy-in, it is 1/3, so that's not too bad when you look at it in those terms. 45 was 3 buy-ins. Now you're getting 3.3. Again, subtract the original one, but you can do the math. It is 10:54 on my clock, so I'm going to be on break here pretty quickly. I do expect to be playing this King and 8. Okay. No longer shall I be doing that. I probably will time bank just to get to the break so I can run and get a drink real quick. Then I'll be back with you. Hopefully finish up this recording and take it down. Looks like I might not be able to not time bank into the break. Might have to pay the small blind. So be it. I'll take the button after break. I'm not going to actually waste my real time bank for this. Okay. If it folds to us, we will be slam bam jamming. For those Magic players, I know this says Even Thugs Cry. I always used to read it as Even Thugs Scry. I know that's an extra S, but for those gamers of the world who knows what the scry mechanic is in Magic the Gathering, you'll probably get a hearty chuckle out of that. Alright, back in 5. Alright, back at it. Just in time. Just in time. These are hands that I used to love a lot, and I think a lot of people would call here. You're giving the small blind even better odds to shove. And I really, although you do have the button, I'm not the biggest fan of just calling here, you know, let's say fold call. Your stack to pot ratio is like 2 to 1 when it's not really the kind of odds that you want, and if you get reversed odded on this one with these stack depths, it's really bad. They play better with deeper stacks, I feel. So suited connectors and one gappers especially. I don't know. Well, if you know that that's going to happen, that's a different story. And this is when you just don't go on tilt because you folded. I believe in the decision that I made, and you know, don't be results oriented. So. Yep, that hurts. It hurts to see. Like I said, I still believe in what I did, and I would do it again. And, you know, this is the one flop where that's different. We would have ended up chopping it. They would have turned the spade free roll and would have bricked. If I'm aces here, it's a tough spot. You know, with the ace of clubs, it's a tough spot. That's one of the worst boards for aces, especially multi-way, especially out of the big blind defense. After it goes check, check, bet, call. Nice hand, shot it. Whoever you are. Nice aim. I would have defended from the big blind, oddly enough. I was, like I said, more afraid of the Irish stealing from us. So, in general, I think suited connectors are pretty garbage unless you're 60-ish big blinds deep and or can go like 4 ways, 3 to 4 ways. I think they shrink in value. Some people will tell you it's different because, you know, you're going to realize more of your equity, meaning that the stacks are shorter, so you're likely to play the hand further out. But you know, hey, what can I say? I could be wrong. Very well could be wrong. Give me some feedback. You know, I'm sure I'm going to get some responses of dolt, idiot. You know, you've called in other spots. Okay. You know, just remove the word idiot and just you know, give your logic and reasoning on the button there in that spot versus a raise and a call. Do you call there when the small blind should be squeezing a lot and or the big blind or with those stack sizes? You know, if you don't like it, okay, cool. Might improve my game, which would be extremely awesome. I've said it before and I'll say it again. I am not a pro. I am not the best, nor do I claim to be. I do feel I'm better than others. I do feel I have edges and everything. But I know that I have a lot of work and leaks. And, you know, I'm not afraid to not discuss them or run from them. Because I feel as a player, if you're not willing to learn and grow, then you're going to be left behind and you're just going to be a loser for the rest of your life. And your career is going to suffer and suck. And that's not what I want to do. So, feedback. All for it. Thank you. We're coming up on a table break here. 45 is another table break. All in a call. Woo! One of them has a small bit of chips left. Yep. And we have been moved. Cut. Leveling up, leveling up, leveling up. Okay. Another one gone, and another one gone. Another one bites the dust. Let's see here. Has it updated to our newest table mates? Nope. I do recognize this name. I do recognize this name. So we should have some hands on some people. Again, whenever you're tuning into, thank you very much. Thank you, thank you, thank you. On Twitch, you can follow me at twitch.tv/Big Rich and the Moneymakers. On YouTube, my name is J McNulty410, JMCNULTY410. On Facebook, Rich.Herbert, and Twitter, J McNulty410 is also my handle there as well. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. However you're consuming this, or whatever reason you may be, thank you. I appreciate you. If you could follow me on any of those platforms, give me a thumbs up or whatever it may be, that would be awesome. You know, even if you're here to be negative, well, you got to know when I'm on, so you can come on and be negative. So, please and thank you. I would greatly, greatly, greatly appreciate that. Let's see, new table. Yep, the 1K Club. Seems pretty reggy. Okay. Hopefully that'll stop it. Sorry, a couple messages in my pocket going off. Another 1K Club member over here. Stats are strikingly similar if you don't notice that. They're a little more stickier. Do not fold to see bet as much, but their stats are strikingly similar, although they're 0 for 6 in folding to see bet and 3 bet plus pots, whereas they fold 2/3 of the time. Do expect to be on team big blind defense here. Somebody will be opening this for sure. I can see squeezing all in here for 20 bigs, expecting to get a fold a lot. I'm going to defend. Not the best. Not the best. It is good that we have the 7 of diamonds on the flop. If it goes check, check, it's actually, well, never mind. Way better for us. Pre-flop. Pre-flop. Interesting they chose to check here. Just tells me they do not have an ace. They're going to check and fold here. Yeah. more so, I'm more inclined of what is River Phoenix flatting the button there with. That is not just 3-betting, getting all in with aces. I'm going to employ the small blind limp, the Gavin Smith. Excuse me, that's the flat call. Okay. Good to know. Bryce is not very friendly. Not enough information on Baby Moses to try to steal here, so we'll just give it up. Blinds go up a little bit, which puts us a little closer towards the crunch zone. We have a very good stack to 3-bet all in with. We're going to get a lot of folds, just not with this holding. And we have a stack that nobody really wants to double up. If you go from 13.5 to 27 blinds, it's big in these moments. Ace and a 4 is not going to cut the mustard here. I would have shoved with a better ace, like ace 8 off, ace 9. I would open some Broadway aces there, suited aces, for sure. And the reasoning I would want to open them is because I would want other people to either shove or to get some better value. Like this hand. This hand, I think, is more of a rip than just an open, trying to get someone to do anything fancy. If it was ace-queen suited or ace-king suited, I would open it, but not holding an ace. Even against this opponent, I am going to 3-bet all in here. I do not expect them to fold very often, but I'm going to be ecstatic if they ever do. And my hands just, I feel, too good. They fold a decent amount of times in this spot. We'll fold to 3-bet after raising. So we shall see. If I get called again, I'm not going to be in that bad of a spot. So if this is our last hand together, thanks for tuning in. But I don't think it's going to be. Cool beans. Close. You can make an argument for folding. You could make an argument for open and folding when 3-bet on. I chose to go all in based upon these stack sizes. It is pretty close. What does it actually say that I should have done? 6 people. 6 people with 17 bigs, almost 18. King 9 suited is actually a shove there, which I think is a little too loose. If you open and you get 3-bet, just know that you have to fold. You took a chance, you know. Your 40% of a royal flush is not going to work out that hand. And any hand that's going to 3-bet you is going to have you probably obliterated. The aces are in a different category. They're like 60-40-ish. You know, yes, there could be some pairs, but a lot of other hands are going to have you obliterated. A lot of hands are going to 3-bet you. Just flat out will. And then are going to be 3-betting willing to get it in versus your King 10 suited there. It is always important having 40% of a royal flush, though. It's a nice one when it comes in. So thanks again wherever you're tuning in. Big Rich here. And we are trying to take down a little 1900. A little nice start to the weekend here. I am an East Coast guy, as you can see by the background on my computer. I am from Maryland. I've lived here most of my life, and the only other couple states I've lived in have been surrounding Maryland, such as Delaware and Virginia, which is down here. Not to be confused with West Virginia, which is over here, but Virginia down here. Delaware here. Baltimore, Harford County. See, areas that I've lived in. Columbia, Towson, Baltimore, Bel Air, Jarrettsville's up here, Joppa. Spent some time down in Essex and Dundalk. Lived in Kearney. Where's Whitemarsh? We're right around here. Parkville's a little bit over here. And for those that don't know, this is the capital of the state, not Baltimore. This is the capital, Annapolis. These little red circles are county seats, city or town. And here's a scale. So, shout out to the great state, Marysland, Maryland. It's Chesapeake Bay. Been along different parts of here, that's for sure. Some of the best seafood in the world. Maryland. Pull this back up. Looks like we are one away from a pay jump. We don't do the slow hand hop, but we get excited about them. For those that don't know, Slow Hand Ellis, Eric Lissica, good friend of mine. If you have not done so already, check his stream out. Twitch.tv/slowhandellis. He's a big reason that this happened recently. People have always been nudge, wink, winking at me. But Eric is the one who kind of put boot to ass, so to speak. So thank you. And connecting me with his buddy Shark Tank Jerry, who has worked tirelessly behind the scenes and tailoring things how I want it and trying to be as perfectionate as possible. So thank you both of you. Big shout out to Justin Schneider as well, Davey Dees, Hunter Weisheit, Brad Swan, Chip Ray, who started this even beforehand, getting the bug in my head, but I just never had enough follow through, and all of their help with this as well. You all know what you have done, and thank you, bless you. So, a little confused with the open limp here with these stacks. I would certainly like to attack it. I'm actually going to limp behind here on the button. I'm not too sure how this is going to play out. River is a little bit of a wild card, so to speak, I think. Here on the flop, if check to, I'm going to bet. If Moses check raises me all in, Godlike will accept Moses' battle. I feel that aces would have spoken pre-flop a little bit. Having the Queen of Clubs here is pretty cool, and I do have a gut shot to the nuts. I get snap called. I'm going to, if they all in, I'm going to call. If check to, I'm probably going to put them in, truthfully. Cut. Same hand. Same hand. They were willing to go with it, but I think that's important to know that they sort of took a stop-and-go approach on the turn. I don't know what they would have done if River raised. But they tried to give themselves some extra equity or extra ways to win. They just check-called the flop, and they were going to jam even if a club came, because they did have a club as well. They just had the reverse club. They had the 10, I had the queen. So good on their behalf. Good on their good on their part and behalf is what I was trying to say. Part and or behalf. Good on their behalf. Good on their part. If you can be a little creative and give yourself an extra chance to win, you should. And you know, if I was just trying to straight rob and or had like a Jack 10, for example, there that was somehow bet with and didn't just check back, they're certainly going to get me to fold that. So good for them. Here, blind on blind battle. Alphabets, just limps. Limp stab takes it. What was their sizing there? It's not alphabets. That was a pretty quick fold. Just one big, huh? Good for them. Always well played, Russian Federation. We will not be tangling with you. No entanglements. Nice healthy sizing. And see you later. Do not expect Bryce to be calling here. We are going to open, and unlike Bryce, we are going to call. Oh, Billy. King Kong. I would play the Jibs and Lil Wayne track, but I don't know if they're going to let me. I don't want to get my stuff taken down. I'm trying to be around for a while, so here, I'll help you out. I'll pre-click it so I don't slow roll you. And if this is our last hand, thanks again for tuning in. If you have not done so already, subscribe and or like on YouTube, Twitch. You can follow me on Twitter. Friend request me on Facebook if you want to. Just let me know who you are. Twitch.tv/BigRich and the Moneymakers. Ooh. Alright, GG's. You know, nothing to be upset about except for the run out. Not much we can really do there. Big Rich signing off. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening, and see you.